I'm here to talk about risks in supply chain, and more importantly, how do we mitigate the risks that we face on a day-to-day basis in our supply chain. In today's telecom supply chains, risk can come from different places. Two large sort of ways to look at it is we can look at risks that come from within the company, and then we can look at risks that are external to us, that come from our partners, come from our customers. From within the company, the kind of risks that we face are many. A couple of quick examples would be risks that we face through people who are perhaps not as ethical or do not follow the policies the company sets. Externally, risk can come from, again, many places, some of which could include natural calamities, strikes, and different things that happen, unfortunately, to our partners or our customers. But if you were to look for a common theme across all of this, risks inherently come from and cause variability. And the question that we have to ask ourselves is, are our supply chains geared to deal with this variability? And how resilient are our supply chains to recover quickly from this variability? So we'll talk about a couple of things that we do at Airtel today to ensure that A, we manage and mitigate the risk or the risks that we face both from within our company and outside prudently, as well as we'll talk about what do we do to recover if one of these risks were to materialize and impact us. So there are two ways we look at it. There are proactive measures that we take today to be able to manage our risks, and there are reactive measures that we have ready so that we can recover from these risks quickly. So on the proactive front, we have robust policies in-house that ensure that we are careful with the partners that we work with. We pick partners who have the highest ethical standards. We ensure that there's no concentration of source. What that essentially means is we work with multiple partners. If not multiple partners, we work with partners who have multiple sourcing locations, factories, to ensure that there is no inherent risk that comes in through a partner having a factory in one single location. We also ensure that there are independent review processes to ensure that people both within the company and the folks who are working with us adhere to the highest of ethical standards. These are different proactive measures that we put in place. We have continual audits, for example, that ensure that we are assessing our risk on an ongoing basis and then finding ways to mitigate it before the risk materializes into something that truly impacts our business. On the reactive front, we have ready-to-go teams that are in place. We have procedures that have been documented and are ready to go in case one of these risks does materialize into something that impacts us. So for example, when a cyclone hits one of our circles and results in the unfortunate loss of both equipment and coverage, one of the first things that has to be, of course, put back in place is coverage so that people can deal with that calamity and recover from it quickly. And to do that, we have teams of people who are nominated, identified, trained, so that they are ready to go in the case of such an event. We have equipment that is placed, redundant equipment that's placed in locations from where they can be picked up and deployed in these affected areas. And we have techniques that we've perfected over the years that allow us to effectively operate in such environments where perhaps there's no power, perhaps there's no road, perhaps there is very little infrastructure support. Despite all of these challenges, we have the ability to bring up a mobile network so that we can again continue the progress that we need to make in these areas for recovery. Those are just some examples of how we're able to mitigate the risk, A, once it happens, or B, prevent it from happening in the first place.